Hey, help support the show by joining the Patreon or becoming a YouTube member. Also, hit that like button to subscribe if you want more Cavs focused content.
Also, want to get a quick reaction to this and we'll head out. Ben Simmons in Cleveland.
Listen, we just talked about mental toughness, this whole thing, and now you want to go get Ben Simmons, guys. This is what I'm talking about, all right?
Now, look, I'll be fair. I am guys. Because I get every argument that you're going to say about not doing it.
Yeah.
But he's 7 foot tall. He can rebound. He plays defense, and he can handle the ball.
On paper, I get it. On paper, I get it. And I do think he actually was more helpful to the Clippers than I expected him to be. I thought it would be a complete dud.
Maybe role player Ben is a different thing, man.
Maybe. Listen, it's one of those things that I'm not going to advocate for. But if they got him on an absolute minimum deal and took a flyer on him, I guess I'll see what the results could be. But
do the Cavs win game 2?
That's a guy who, speaking of like entitlement and thinking that you are owed things, that's Ben Simmons' whole career.
No, I understand why it's a nasty idea, but I do have to ask this very enticing question. Do the Cavs win game 2 if Ben Simmons is on the roster?
Hey, man.
If it's Ben Simmons playing them 10 minutes instead of Craig Porter Jr.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's tough, man. Like, he would have helped. I don't think you wouldn't have wanted him closing the game. That's for sure.
No.
Could he have helped in the second quarter?
Could he have rebounded?
Probably. That's the thing is, like, for all the concerns that you have about Ben Simmons, he can still rebound the ball. He can still dribble the ball if you're trying to break a full court press. So, like, I see what you're saying. They do need a back. Well, shoot, man.
You need to take Ty Jerome out for defense.
They need a backup point guard, and they do need a backup big. And Ben Simmons does fill both of those roles in an ideal world. I'm just not sure if we live in that world anymore. But hey, man, I can't hate you for signing or for thinking that maybe it's a possibility, because he does theoretically check those boxes.
Everybody reacts when I say Lonzo Ball. Yeah, that makes sense. And I'm like, well, what about Ben Simmons? And I'm like, it's the same thing.
I mean, Lonzo Ball is like, on paper, again, would absolutely love to have him. He's such a helpful player. He's not the guy that was drafted, right? Like, he's been through so many injuries. I just don't think he's that guy anymore. But yeah, you're right. It's like the flirting versus harassment meme. But like,
yeah, it's like, oh,
the idea of Lonzo Ball, but then you say Ben Simmons, and like, hell no.
I'm like, they're both as successful in the playoffs as like
both been injured for the last 5 years, right? Like,
both not going to take it to the cup really aggressively, like you know, like the same thing. 2 draft busts, you know, 1 7 foot can actually play the 5, not any like high level, but does rebound. Take the ball out. It wouldn't be the crazy. I can see Kenny Atkinson's brain thinking, I can make that work. Now we got to see where Ben's mind is. Maybe like bouncing around from a couple of teams. Like has just like, all right, I'm gonna just be a role player, and that's what he needs. Is just have the role limited and his hopes limited, and that changes something for him. But hey, man, I think Kenny can figure that out. And I wouldn't say it's gonna fix all the Cavs' problems, obviously. But I'm finally at the point where I'm like, you know what? Ben Simmons vet minimum.
If he's your 10th guy, you could do
worse.
You could do worse.
Yeah, you could play him. He's playable.
Like you said, it depends on his mentality, and I would assume in any scenario where Ben Simmons was on the Cavs, I would assume they sat down with him, they interviewed him, they had a talk. They're talking to the Clippers and Ty Lue and like what their vibe was with Ben Simmons, and if they decided to sign him, they must feel reasonably confident that he's willing to buy in. So I'll give it. If it happens, I'm willing to see to hear.
Or they say, "Fuck it, it's a vet man. Let's see what happens."
Hey, it's better than Dean Wade running up and down the court doing nothing. Although Dean's still helpful, but like,
what are really? Because like, think about this. We just talked about the Cavs need to be okay with being the villain. Who gonna teach you that better than Ben Simmons?
Right. Yeah, I mean,
like you know what I mean.
Everybody hates him now. So if you need some of that mentality.
He's got in a fight with Jarrett Allen.
Exactly, yeah. Oh my God. He's like one of 2 people who have fought Jarrett Allen.
Yes. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is, hey man, it might be a fit.
I see the vision. I don't want to see it, but I can at least hear you out on this.
It is like it is one of those things where it's like, hey man, I know. It's got to be like the guy who was like, hey, maybe we should sign Ron Artest to the Lakers. Right? Nobody wanted any parts of Ron Artest at that point in his career. He changed his name, everything. He's been a world peace. But somebody that was like, hey, man, it might work. It didn't work. Like, hey, Dwight Howard, the year they signed him, nobody was like, yeah, man, go get Dwight. They brought in Dwight. It worked. Yeah, to the Lakers, where his whole status dropped. I'm like, hey, bro, I'm looking around. Options are limited. How we gonna get better? Ben's probably gonna play on a minimum. Why not here? Like, hey, at the very least, he is much more playable than Craig Porter Jr., Javonte Green, and half the time Jalen Tyson.
Yeah. It's especially at a minimum deal, right? Like, we're not talking about trading for him or anything. If you picked him up on a minimum, because the Cavs, they do have some roster decisions to make with like upcoming free agents. So,
would you rather have Ben Simmons or Dean Wade? Who's more useful for you?
I'd have to choose Dean Wade, but like, I understand that we've seen over and over again that if Dean Wade was ever going to happen in the playoffs, it would have happened by now. I think throughout the regular season, though, I do think Dean's so helpful, but like, I get.
No, Dean is helpful during the regular season. He never shoots the ball in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's not gonna do what you need him to in the playoffs. And Ben Simmons, you already know he's not gonna shoot, but at least he can rebound, he can handle the ball, he can create plays. I get the idea here.
I will get at least 30% of Cleveland to be like, you know what, Ben Simmons makes sense. That is my campaign. Is that 30% of Cavs fan? Because right now I'm at 5, right? This is an issue that is polling at like 5% right now for me, right? But if I get this to like a 30%, that's a pretty big win. Yeah, before he signs, and then if he signs, it's gonna get to 50-50. People gonna start making videos about it. And I just want everybody to remember, I was willing to stand on the soapbox in front of the train station and yell at y'all about Ben Simmons. Now, if it's wrong, hey, look, it's Ben Simmons. I wasn't saying you should sign him to a max. But if I'm right, I'm right. But yeah, look, creative solutions are going to be what's required for the Cavs, and you have to open yourselves to some solutions that you initially look at and go, oh, like, it's just the reality of where they're at. Hey, look, when the Celtics traded for Kristaps, a lot of people went, ugh.
I was one of them. I'll admit, I was one of them. I was like, this doesn't even play. Like, I don't know if you could make that move, and hey, got a championship out of it.
Hey, look, when they gave Jalen Brunson all that goddamn money. Right? Hey, imperfect times lead to imperfect solutions, and nobody is more imperfect than Ben Simmons.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
But I will continue to beat the drum on the Ben Simmons issue. We will get to 30% polling on that eventually. But Tony, thank you for coming on. Tony, where can they check you out?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Q. It's always great to talk Cavs. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter at Tony_Pesta. I'll be doing, Cavs content all throughout the offseason. I got a video up reacting to some bad Cavs trades if you want to check that out. Yeah, thanks again for having me.
No problem, Tony. Make sure you guys go check out his stuff, written and video wise. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.